Hi, it's Brent Abel here at WebTennis, and let's talk about the high backhand volley. And I want to start out by kind of pointing out two sort of instinctive problems we have with really executing this shot to where, we can really do some damage with it. Number one, because we're up at net and, the ball is up high, it really feels like, this is a put away opportunity. And it would be if it was over on your forehand side where maybe you could really get your feet organized quickly, get into position where you could hit an overhead, and being that close to the net, you know as well as I do, the chances go way up that you're going to be able to end the point as a winner with your overhead. But once the ball gets over to the backhand side, this is really so much more technically a difficult shot to execute as opposed to the overhead, and yet our mindset is still saying, we got to find a way to put this ball away, we got to find a way to end the point. The biggest mistake that we make on this is we get on top of the ball too much and we end up getting too severe, too sharp of an angle where the ball leaves our racket. We're thinking, I just want to make this shot somehow. What I want to show you right now is one of those 6 fundamentals that are part of this mini course. And when we think about the standard backhand volley, we talk about playing the ball slightly in front of us out in here. And once the ball gets up a little bit higher from, say, waist high, where you would normally play a standard backhand volley, once it gets up into the high backhand volley category, if you play this ball at the same out in front point of contact that you would down here, I'm telling you, you're going to get on top of this ball and the ball is going to be angled too severely down into the court where it's going to bounce up and then really give your opponents that opportunity to be able to then take control of the point. What I want you to do on this high backhand volley is to think about playing the contact point later. Okay, one of the 6 must-have, gotta-have, vital fundamentals on this high backhand volley is going to be your point of contact and how it differs from a standard sort of waist-high volley. Standard waist-high volley, down here at this height is a little bit further in front than where you want to play this high backhand volley. I really try to feel that I'm playing it to my side. And even though this is not, literally to my side, it's just that, it's slightly in front of this front shoulder, it feels later than where I would normally play this shot for a standard waist-high volley down here, or even something down below the top of the net. If you get this point of contact even, let's call it 4 to 6 inches further out in front, if you make the contact point out in here, what's going to happen is the top of your racket starts to flatten out on top of it, and now your trajectory is much more severe. It either ends up going into the net, or else it's more of a angle like we've been talking about, where you end up playing this ball short, relatively short, to where it bounces right around the service line of your opponent's court and doesn't really get that skid that you want through the bounce where it stays low. It really kind of just bounces, and now it bounces up and allows them to be able to sort of have a easy lob opportunity, an easy lob opportunity, or even worse, they can sort of tee off on a ground stroke. So what I want you to work on with this is playing this ball later in here so that the stroke mechanics really get a much better chance to be able to create that skid and create that depth that you want in this high backhand volley.